guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am here today to make some really delicious muffins. I have my KitchenAid here. This bad boy has been with me for 5 years and it has done so much wonders in my kitchen. So I'm going to be bringing this bad boy out today. But before I get started and talk about the ingredients that I use, I'm sure you guys noticed the kitchen is different. My husband and I, we have moved into our new home and we're still getting things together, but we're really excited for this new adventure for our family. And I'm so excited to be making new meals for you guys. Today we are going to be making muffins. I have some oats here, some oat flour, apricots, hemp, chia, and flax seeds. We have some sunflower seeds here, some baking powder, pumpkin puree, and some linings for the muffins. I also wanted to talk a little bit about these amazing products here. This is by Devash. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but this stuff is a staple in my kitchen. Here is the date nectar and the sweet potato nectar. And the best thing about these nectars is there's only one ingredient in here, and that is organic dates and organic sweet potatoes. And this is amazing, you guys. I don't give my daughter sugar. Very rarely she'll have like a little bit of ice cream or a little treat. I make her oatmeals or her muffins or her pancakes or anything that requires anything sweet to it. I put this stuff in it because I don't feel guilty. It's one ingredient, dates or sweet potatoes, and it adds a little sweetness. She loves it. I always start with my dry ingredients first. Here I have half a cup of oat flour. You can use any type of flour. I just prefer to use oat. Here we have some old-fashioned rolled oats. I do about half a cup of oatmeal. If you prefer to do a little bit more, you can. It's all based off preference. If you follow me, you know I am all about my superfoods. So of course I'm gonna go ahead and add some hemp seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds to this recipe. As you see, I do 1.5 tablespoons of each seed. I also prefer to use milled flax seeds. I feel like it's a lot easier to digest and it's easier to hide into the batter. My daughter does not find it into her muffins as she's like biting into it. So I think that's a plus also. And I want you to keep in mind that you can also use less or more of the hemp seed, chia seed, and the flax seed. It's all preference. But I have noticed that when I did use a little bit more chia seeds than I did in this recipe here, my daughter was not a fan of the consistency. So just keep in mind that if you do have a picky eater, it pretty much is trial and error. Just see how they like the first batch you make, and if they don't enjoy something, you can always tweak it. As you see, I've added 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. I normally add about half a cup of plain yogurt instead, but I was actually out when I was making this recipe. So to avoid the baking soda and baking powder, you can also use yogurt. I also add about 1 cup of pumpkin puree. You guys, pumpkins are such good sources of potassium, protein, and iron for your little ones. A lot of people don't know the benefits of it, but it's actually really good for your little ones. So if you want to add more than a cup, you are more than welcome to. Here I've added half a cup of pumpkin seeds. You guys can replace this with any kind of nuts that your little ones love. I also add half a cup of apricots. Feel free to replace this with any dried fruit that your little one might love. So as you guys know, I am absolutely obsessed with this date nectar. I add about 1/4 of this nectar to help sweeten up these muffins without adding any refined sugars. I go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I don't really measure this, I just go ahead and add a few dashes in there. So in this recipe, I added 2 eggs. I add eggs because my daughter does not eat any meat, and I basically have my own way of making sure that she is meeting her nutritional requirements. But if you have a vegan baby or if you have a baby who does not like to eat eggs, you can replace it with applesauce, banana, vegetable oil, you name it. There's so many different alternatives, so you can always go ahead and use an alternative to egg. Now that I have everything in my bowl, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn my KitchenAid on and I'm gonna start mixing. I love lining my muffins, but this is totally optional. If you don't line them, just make sure that you spray a little bit of coconut oil on the bottom so it doesn't stick. I prefer to line it because A, it makes cleaning super easy, and B, when I take it on the go and if my daughter's hands are not the cleanest, she can always hold on to the bottom of the wrapper. So here I'm just getting rid of the excess batter that is actually stuck to the whisk of the KitchenAid. And what I like to do is I like to bring the batter to the center of the bowl so it makes it easy to go ahead and just scoop them and put them in the muffin liners. I prefer to use either a giant spoon or an ice cream scooper. I think an ice cream scooper is so much more easier, and I just go ahead and scoop and place into the liner right before I set it into the oven. I also just want to mention that I did not film this part, but I also did add half a cup of oat milk to this recipe.